No mai haere mai mā loilele, welcome to 3 News. The struggle to save Los Angeles from the worst wildfires ever visited on the city still seems like a one-sided fight. 120 square kilometres, an area larger than Hamilton, of both scrubland and prime real estate has been incinerated, turning affluent neighbourhoods into landscapes of ash and charred ruins. CBS is reporting that 9,000 structures have been lost. The Palisades, Eaton and Hearst fires are still raging, while a new blaze called the Kenneth Fire has sprung up in San Fernando Valley. And incredibly, only 7 people have been confirmed dead, thanks to mandatory evacuation orders affecting 180,000 people. Senior reporter Juliet Speedy has more.
The road into Pacific Palisades in the aftermath of the wildfire, a shocking journey through destruction. And it soon becomes clear this fire is still consuming homes and businesses all along Sunset Boulevard. The scenes here show that the mandatory evacuation orders saved hundreds, if not thousands, of lives. And from the air, the scale of the tragedy becomes starker still. Entire neighbourhoods lost to the flames. Under-resourced firefighters working in strong winds around the clock.
We're running out of water.
This is the worst one for me. Worst one I've ever seen. No question.
This resident has briefly returned to see the scale of the disaster.
In less than 24 hours, the neighborhood gone, leveled, disappeared.
I was in tears with still choked up with my daughter right now. It's, it's a lot of hard work building a business, and seeing this, it's tough, very tough.
You better take pictures of the house right now.
For residents daring to go back just to glimpse what they have lost, the emotion is overwhelming. One of the most desirable places to live in America, now a hellscape.
It's like Armageddon, when you can see the flames coming up over the houses and you're just getting out of the driveway, and the smoke and the ash is so thick. I'm surprised all of us got out of there.
A mailbox but no house to serve, a child's toy, and the abandoned remains of an attempt to load up a car. Nature has had the upper hand in the City of Angels. The infamous Santa Ana winds, gale force at times, changing direction with a fiery trail of destruction.
It's extremely difficult to predict. It's extremely difficult to contain.
It's pretty much like a hurricane, except instead of rain, we had fire.
It is safe to say that the Palisades fire is one of the most destructive natural disasters in the history of Los Angeles.
A new fire gained traction last night, this time in the Hollywood Hills. The places where you'd come to dream: Sunset, Hollywood Boulevard, Mulholland Drive, named synonymous with the movie industry that is LA's bread and butter. It's many of those who've reached the top, whose homes have now burned to the ground. Jamie Lee Curtis was appearing on a TV show in New York.
This is literally where I live, everything. The market I shop in, the schools my kids go to, friends, many friends now have lost their homes.
Spencer Pratt, a star of the reality TV show The Hills, looked on as the flames approached his house, later filming what was left of his road. And Paris Hilton wrote, "Sitting with my family watching my home burn on live TV is something no one should ever have to experience." There are also hundreds of Kiwis living in LA, like football Ferns captain Ali Riley, who lost her home, posting that her entire neighbourhood is gone and that this rubble was her home and she was there with her parents just days ago, watching the sunset. Eden Wairua Orm lives in Hollywood.
There are a lot of us Kiwis here, and we're all doing a really good job at keeping out, looking for each other. I've lived in LA for 6 years now, and every year I hear about fires. I've been here when there've been some really rough ones in Malibu, but never at this size, never this many happening at the same time.
The fires are now moving closer to her.
I started to see smoke like flying down to the Hollywood ways, which has never happened before from any of those fires. So that was the first like moment I was like kind of given a clue that it's getting rough. It's getting pretty bad. I packed my evacuation bag and I'm just going to leave it by the front door.
The climate crisis has caused the fires and an insurance crisis. California's insurer of last resort, Fair, is now the only option for thousands of homeowners, but it faces exposure in Southern California of almost $37 billion, and these fires are expected to cost up to $13 billion. But Fair has said it only has reserves of $385 million to pay out claims. To cover that gap, insurance premiums will inevitably skyrocket for everyone.
The insurance companies are going to have a big problem because you're talking about big, big dollars.
But could it become Trump's problem with his motto, drill baby drill? In the meantime, President Biden says the US government will cover 100% of LA's recovery costs for the next 6 months.
It's going to pay for things like temporary shelters, first responders' salaries, and all necessary measures to protect life and property.
From the Pacific Coast Highway to Malibu, wildfires continue to ravage America's wealthiest states. Inland Altadena near the Eaton fire, the same. Los Angeles has long feared another earthquake. But this tragedy came from the desert winds and from sparks that ignited an inferno.